Hi viewers, my name is Dr. Lakunle Oluwaseun Ibrahim. I would like to address the problem of incessant killings in Nigeria. One, I want us to understand that there is no society of the world that is immune to insecurity, but it is the responsibility of the government to protect lives and properties. In fact, that is the first duty of every government in the world. You must protect lives and properties. Uh, Nigeria is a country that is rich in cultural heritage and mineral resources. Let me put it natural resources. But over the years, for more than 2 decades, we have been grappled with continuous crisis, killings, incessant killings everywhere across the country. And this phenomenon, rather than going down, it's now becoming a recurring theme. It's becoming a recurring theme because it's leaving scars in the hearts of the people. Nigeria as a country is bewildered by all sort of threats, all sort of problems, not external, but internal. One of the reasons for this problem, or one of the factors contributing to this problem, is ethnic and religious tensions. Africa generally is a conflict zone. Civil war. In fact, we have fought more civil war in Africa than every other part of the world. Look at every African country, there is always problem upon problems, problem upon problems every time. And you now continue, if you agree with me, there are historical grievances. There are people with perceived marginalization. And as they have these feelings, they try as much as possible to compete for interest. And in the course of competing for this interest, it's most times or oftentimes escalates into violent conflicts. Now, insecurity has now become a daily problem, a social problem that has affected all the nook and crannies of the country. Nobody's safe. It is only in this part of the world I know you build houses with a very tall fence, and criminals will still have the audacity to jump into your compound and snuff light and take your life away, take away your things. Look at insecurity in Nigeria right now. Most of us cannot travel on Nigerian roads without saying all sort of prayers. There are some who will be reciting Ayatul Kursi. There are some who will be holding their Bible, reciting all sort of psalms. Psalm 109, Psalm 1 million, Psalm 1 trillion, all sort of verses from the Bible. Bandits, criminal elements, kidnappers, armed robbers, and other terrorist organizations have taken over certain part of Nigeria over the years, and they've been able to create an atmosphere of fear and instability in the minds of our people in every place within the country. Coupled with this problem is the fact that Nigerians are presently going through the worst economic struggles of their life. Poverty is there, unemployment is there. In as much as I believe that in the competent court of law, unemployment and poverty is not a reason to commit crime. But I can tell you that socially, it is one of the factors or one of the reasons or one of the causes of committing crime. There is no society, like I said earlier on, that is immune to criminality. It is the pattern of criminality that differs based on the nature and composition of those societies of the world. You now also realize that despite all these problems, the government is supposed to come up with policies and measures that will solve these problems. But we have a very weak government in Nigeria right now. Inadequate law enforcement agents. How many police officers to civilians or to Nigerians? If you divide 370 something thousand police that we have in Nigeria, you will now agree with me that a policeman equals to 500 Nigerians. And outside that, most VIPs or VVIPs are the ones making use of these police officers. You see about 10 policemen guiding one person, which implies that with the minimum that we have, 10 police is for that's 500 by 10, that is, I think, 5,000. So it means that the 10 police officers that is supposed to protect 5,000 people is not protecting one person. What kind of stupid inequality is that? If you have a clear mind, you have a good mind, why do you need to be moving up and down with policemen? You go to churches and mosques, your pastors and imams will tell you to pray and pray for security purposes, and your pastors and imams are driving bulletproof cars, and they will give a sticker to you to go and paste in front of your house and tell you you are covered by the blood of Jesus, or you should take this, you recite this. But they move with bulletproof vehicles, they move with policemen, they move with Amotekun, they move with army officers, they move with all sorts of security agencies, but they tell you to rely solely on God for prayers to protect you. We have a very weak government right now as regards to security issues. There is no doubt about that. Killings are going unabated. Nobody is speaking. No, 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 no. This is nonsense as far as some Nigerians are concerned. In fact, the worst part of it is that most Nigerians are not even concerned about what is happening in Nigeria. They are only concerned about what is happening in Iran and Israel. The number of people that have died in Nigeria in the last 48 hours or 72 hours is far more than the total number of persons that have lost their lives in this Israel-Iran war. And you now see Nigerians painting religious, there is always religious coloration of what is happening in Israel and Iran. It's none of our business. It is their problem. It's a testing ground for them. They are testing their weapons. Let us face what is happening here. Look at the number of persons that have died in Benue in the last 70 in the last 48 hours. More than 100. Have they recorded up to 100 deaths in Israel and Iran? No. We need to start looking at things internally. People are dying on a daily basis. The northeastern part of Nigeria is not immune to this problem. The southwestern part of Nigeria is not immune to this problem. The southeastern part of Nigeria is not immune to this problem. In fact, all the geopolitical zones in Nigeria are not immune to these problems. But yet, when they write about Benue killing online, you see that Nigerians that will come out to speak are not even more than 100 or 200 under the comment section. But if it is Iran and Israel, you see people taking sides, talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. There is the need for some of us to undergo the process of cultural value reorientation. We need to resocialize people into believing that we have to solve our internal problems before we even start thinking of even making reference to what is happening in other parts of the world. Yes, it's going to have a serious impact on the global village, but that is none of anybody's problem. What are the various consequences of these killings if it continues to go unabated? We have lost lives, innocent civilians, including women and children. In fact, in most situations, women and children are always the most vulnerable when it comes to all these problems. Look at women and children being caught in all this crossfire, losing their lives and being displaced. We now have highest number of internally displaced persons in this part of the world. What is happening? You look at the number of displaced people and the kind of trauma they are undergoing. Many people have been forced to leave the comfort zones of their homes. And this internal displacement has brought a long-term psychological trauma to these people. Some cannot even go back to their various communities. Some have sworn with their life and to the God that created them that they will never go back to those places that are already ravaged by insecurity. You look at economic instability. Most of these societies that are known for agricultural produce can no longer produce adequately. And what is the impact of this? What is the effect of this on the people? There are people whose main source of income is agriculture. We have also seen situations where people, You see, things are gradually deteriorating in this part of the world, and nobody's speaking. Even on the common street, people collect phones. What is happening? Look at the number of persons that died in Mokwa because of flood. And some of these states are collecting ecological funds. What are they using the money for? And you now see the Nigerian government distributing rice as if rice is the only problem we have in this country. When there is bandit attack, it is rice. When there is what do we call this group in the southeast unknown government, when they attack people, you give them rice. When Mahmuda attack people, you give them rice. When ISWAP attack people, you give them rice. When kidnappers attack people, you give them rice. Is rice the solution to our problem in this country? Is rice the only solution to our problem in this country? Everything is rice, 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 rice. We don't need rice. What we need is to rise up against some of these problems. We need to, in fact, this problem has led to economic instability because this massive violence has disrupted economic activities in many parts of Nigeria. And this will always deter foreign direct investment or foreign direct investors. Most of these people will not even come. They won't come because there is nobody that will invest in a society that is not safe. Therefore, if there is lack of investment, it will definitely hinder socio-economic development. What are the basic things that we feel the government should do to address this incessant killing? Because this problem requires a multifaceted approach. One, we need to strengthen governance. The government needs to understand that many Nigerians do not even believe in governance any longer. Many Nigerians believe their voices are not heard. Many Nigerians believe that the present socio-political configuration of Nigeria is not good enough to rule this country. Fine, infrastructurally, the government is trying. But what about poverty? What about the killings? Has the government forgotten that the basic constitutional duty of the government is to protect lives and properties? If you fail to do this, there is nothing you can tell people that people will listen to you. Dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some of us supported you with our full blood. But we are not hypocrites. We are not. Killings are going on. What is happening? The northeast is not safe. Northwest is not safe. North Central is not safe. South is not safe. Southeast is not safe. Southwest is not safe. Then where is the safe place for Nigerians to live? Then if you want all of us to have adequate security system, take all of us to the villa. Relocate all of us to government houses. Relocate all of us to government army barracks. Relocate us to police stations. Which police station are we even talking about? Which army barracks are we talking about? Is it the army barrack that has been dislodged by terrorists? Is it the super camps that have been dislodged by terrorists? No. I really commend the Nigerian security architecture. They are trying, but they need more weapon. They need more weapon. These are people's parents. Even when some of them go to the war front and they die there, to pay them their entitlement is a problem. What kind of country is this? The country where people labor for the nation and they are not rewarded in abundance. Does it make any sense to anybody? It doesn't make any sense to anybody. It does not make any form of sense to anybody. We need to strengthen governance, improve law enforcement agencies. There must be a total rejig of the system. Promote accountability. Tackle corruption. It is very crucial. There are people with corruption cases and they are the ones piloting the affairs of the nation. What do we expect such people to give us? Nonsense. You need to build economic development. There must be good education. Look at our universities, primary and secondary schools. They are just not things, I don't know the exact word to qualify. Sometimes ago, when education used to be the pathway to success, where is the education today? We now have millions of graduates without adequate job. Look at our university systems. We've inculcated entrepreneurship system. What are we teaching them? You see a teacher teaching students how to make donut, how to make meat pie. What kind of nonsense is that? Just imagine. teaching people how to make soap. No, 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 no. The curriculum should go beyond all this nonsense. We need to come up with a social welfare system, because welfareism is one of the backbone of every nation of the world. Social services must be provided. They must be provided. It's either residual or institutional. Residual is always for the people who we feel really, really need the help. But institutional is what the government is fond of doing. Institutional in the sense that it is everybody that will benefit from it. You build road, it is institutional social service. You build water system, it is institutional services. But what about people who need just the bare minimum to survive? Let us come up with programs that can alleviate poverty. As far as I'm concerned, in this country, we have not been able to alleviate poverty at all. We have not. And we need to check the communities, the areas where these crises have escalated. We need to promote dialogue and reconciliation. There is no amount of fight. People will still have to go back to the drawing board, sit on the table, and provide solutions to the problem. Why do we continue to leave our people to suffer? Dear President Tinubu, you need to do something about this. The killing is much. The killing is much. Your children are protected. We are not protected. What is happening? What is happening? The VIPs are protected. The common Nigerian is not protected. We have complex issues. There must be dialogue. Go visit these communities and bring dialogue. This dialogue at least will go a long way in fostering reconciliation, and it will help reduce tensions. Even after the Civil War, there was reconciliation, there was reconstruction, and there was rehabilitation. So, therefore, I urge the Nigerian government, civil societies, and international partners to come together and work to address these complex issues in order to create a stable and secure environment for all Nigerians. Once again, my name is Dr. Lakule Oluwaseun Ibrahim. Till we meet again on the episode of Speak Truth to Power. Thank you very much.